Kayla and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be continuing the series Boy Rank. I know it's been like 6 months. Sorry it's been so long on this one. But today I am bringing it back with Be My Princess. Be My Princess is probably my second favorite Voltage game. I think that's what I listed it as in my top 5 Voltage game videos, which I will link below along with my last Boy Rank video of Dreamy Days in West Tokyo, which is my #1 favorite Voltage game. But yeah, as you may guess, this is a royalty, becoming a princess type of Otome game. The game begins with you as a college student studying abroad at Charles' Kingdom, and on one of your days off you end up helping an elderly man who turns out to be a noble, which you don't find out quite yet, but he gives you his number and says to call him if you ever need anything at all going forward since you were so kind to help him out. Later on that day, when you're at a flower shop in the kingdom, you end up getting splashed and your clothes get ruined when a limo passes by. The limo stops, and who gets out except for Prince Edward, the super handsome prince. He ends up inviting you to the royal ball to say sorry and kind of make up for the incident. He gets you dressed, does your hair and makeup, or has people do your hair and makeup. And you show up at the ball and there are tons of royal people there. There's all of the princes that are playable, and you end up seeing that noble McAllister, the guy that you helped out. You didn't know that he was a noble and you meet him again there, so that's kind of interesting. In fact, I think it's his palace that the party is held at. It's been a long time since I played the prologue, so forgive me if I'm a little bit off on any of the details, but basically you get to choose who's going to ask you to dance. It's going to be one of the princes, and that's how you get onto their routes. Since the game's creation, they have added 2 characters, that is Zane the butler and Yaakov, another prince that is not at the party, and you end up meeting him on a plate. So yeah, I did get a great suggestion in the comments on my last video, and that was to go not starting from my favorite, but starting from the lowest on the list all the way to my favorite at the end, so it's more suspenseful for you guys. But as always, I'm going to give you guys a little mini review on the route and then give 3 things that if you like those things or that describes you, then you would probably really enjoy their route. Because although my favorite is my favorite, it may not be your guys' favorite. It all depends on what you're looking for in Otome, what kind of girl you are, and all of that. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the list. There are 8 characters, so this is probably going to be a long video. Grab some tea or something to drink and just sit back and relax and enjoy this Boy Rank video. Now I do want to preface by saying every single route this game I thoroughly enjoyed. Obviously I enjoyed some a little bit more, so that's how I did the ranking, but every single one of these routes I would recommend you play. I played all of them and love them all, so I don't think that you can really go wrong with this game. But I did have to choose a number 8, a last on the list, and I know some of you will be upset because I feel like everybody has like their favorite guy in this game, and I'm sure a lot of people this is their favorite, but my last pick is Roberto. Yes, so number 8 is Prince Roberto. He is super sweet and charming though, and I do love his character a lot, but the reason that I put him last is his actual story for me lacked the drama and the enticing plot that a lot of the other stories did have. You couldn't really say the story had any drama. It did have some melodrama. I think the main conflict was that he wasn't performing all the duties that he needed to. Oh yeah, and then there was this thing with his best friend who's a girl, and you were kind of jealous of her, but then you guys end up becoming friends fairly quickly, I think. So that's not really any drama, but still, I really did enjoy Roberto himself. He kind of has that childlike wonder about him. He definitely acts younger. He's very polite though and very calming. So he has that good mix of that youthful vibe, but still the mature enough demeanor to be comforting and caring towards the MC. So I really like that about him, and I love all of his extra stories like the Christmas special. He's super cute and his personality really shines through in those. I just think that his main route lacked some of the things that all of these other routes do have. But nonetheless, I think the type of girl that would enjoy Roberto's route a lot is someone who is attracted to that childlike spark and the youthful playfulness that he has. Also, if you don't like a lot of drama in stories and you prefer like a smooth sailing, kind of like slice of life, happy land type of route, because it was very smooth, and I like those kind of routes normally, but I do like a little bit of plot still. And finally, I think you would enjoy this route if you really like having that friend companion character as well, in addition to your love interest, because this is the only route out of all of them that you actually have a female your age that you can talk to about Roberto, and not just having the prince there for you. So they did a good job of adding that extra character in who had known Roberto since childhood. Now at number 7 we have Yaakov. So Prince Yaakov is a lot of people's favorite too. I know he just personally, his archetype just isn't what I normally go for, but I do really commend them on making such a unique route because his character type is unlike any other character type that I have seen within Voltage games and within the branch as a whole. Overall, his route was just very different, and some people might really like that. For example, he wasn't at the party like how you met everybody else, but instead you meet him on a plane that gets hijacked. It's kind of dangerous and scary. His whole route is on the more dangerous, scary side. And you protect a little girl. He saves you guys both and really admires your bravery. There's something wrong with your papers and you end up having to stay with him and you're stuck in his kingdom, so he lets you live there. Now, his kingdom palace is not like the other guys. It's not like there's no butlers, there's no staff. It's not like super grandiose and dreamlike like the others. His kingdom is kind of in like a warring states type of period, and that was something that I didn't enjoy that much. I prefer like the fluffy, beautiful, elegant kingdoms. I didn't really like the fact that this one pulled away from that a lot, and there was like no butler, which was sad. And all the meals are really bland, so I think you even end up teaching some of the soldiers how to cook. But eventually you get closer to Yaakov and you guys do fall in love. I think what a lot of people like about him is he is just so manly. Like he's very overtly sexual and he drinks a lot. He is just way different. He's very hearty. He kind of reminds me of like a Russian type of guy. Not to stereotype, but that is the stereotype that is out there, like drinking a lot and just being really handsome and all of that, which Yaakov does well. So if you're into that, you will definitely like this route. So if you like very manly men, he is very manly. We all know Japanese games tend to lean more on the princely type, the pretty boy type, if you will. So that's something different for those of you who like a man's man. Second, if you're into more mature routes, this one definitely delivers on that. There's a lot more like sexy encounters and situations that are not in any of the other routes, or even in a lot of Voltage games. They tend to stray away from that kind of thing and things are more PG, but his route is a little bit more mature. And then also, if you just like that imperfect world aspect of things not already being perfect and a gorgeous, glorious kingdom, you may like that aspect of it. So if any of those are you, then this is the route for you to check out. Now for number 6 on the list, it is Zane, the butler. So Zane is also a lot of people's favorite, as you can imagine. He stands out. He's a butler, not a prince like the other ones, so that's definitely something that he has going for him. Something that I really liked about him. I don't know about you guys, but butlers are there's just something about butlers. And also to me, his route seems the most realistic, like something that could really happen. Because you saved the noble in the beginning, and Zane is the noble's butler. He's not one of the prince's butlers. And when you need help in all the other routes, you call Noble Mikhail, and he's like, oh, let me have somebody else help you. You can go to some other kingdom. It's kind of strange. Like, what would most likely really happen is you'd be like, oh, come to my kingdom. It's in the same province, and I'll have my butler help you out. That seems like the more real thing that would happen. So yeah, that is exactly what happens, and you're still going to school, and you live there, and you go closer to Zane and fall in love, and it does seem very natural and what would really happen. But that doesn't mean that his route lacks drama. It definitely doesn't. He has a really intriguing backstory that's an integral part of the story, and I think you guys would really enjoy that part of it. I know I did. I really enjoyed Zane's route. Like I said, I enjoyed all of these routes, so ranking him on the lower half of the list doesn't mean he's a bad character at all. I think you guys would enjoy Zane's route if you are into butlers. I know it's definitely a thing amongst the Otome community and female otakus, so yeah, definitely check that out if you're into butlers. Secondly, you like a guy with a hidden past. He has a hidden past with some mystery in it and a great backstory that shows you why he is how he is today, how he got to where he is today, and it makes you really fall in love with someone more when you learn more about their past. So if you like connecting in that way, you'll enjoy this route. And then also, if you're looking for the more realistic side in this game, this is something that you would really like. Not everybody likes the fantasy of falling in love with a prince and all of that, and they want something more realistic, and that just seems fake to them. So this is certainly the route for you to play if you're not interested in any of the princes. Okay, so now number 5. Number 5 is where we get into that difficult territory where it's really hard to choose, because all of these routes have that same charm about them, where it's a commoner and a prince fall in love, all the trials from that, being a princess, elegance, fun, dreamland. All of these routes deliver that. If that's what you're looking for, that's probably why you downloaded the game, and all of these routes will give that to you. So it was difficult for me to choose, but here we go. So number 5 is Prince Keith. Now let me just say, I don't know why they do this, but every time the character is supposed to be mean, they make him look so attractive. It's probably to help combat people disliking him for being mean, but I mean, look at him. Look at his sprite. I just think he's the most attractive character. Like, maybe not the most of all of them, I'll tell you who my favorite is, but that is a dang beautiful face. Nonetheless though, he is mean. He is a super mean character. When you go to live with him, he has you doing like maid work, bringing him stuff, serving at his parties, and he's like the mean, rich celebrity type that's super snobbish. He's the type to like purposely spill his drink and be like, "Oh, commoner, come pick this up while I watch you, ha ha ha, I'm so rich," and all of his friends laugh at you. That actually happens in the game. So once I was kind of getting into it and it was still him being mean, I was like, ew, why am I playing this route? I don't like it. But things do take a turn, and he transforms really wonderfully throughout the game from start to finish. And I think a big integral part of that is when you meet his little sister. So I don't want to give away too much about her, but she is the sweetest thing. You meet her out in the garden, and your relationship with her is what brings Keith to start to trust you and let you in on his life and everything. And she's just amazing. Like, I think I may have even teared up at some of the stuff that went on with her and Keith. So that is definitely one of the reasons I love this route so much. I thought it had a great story, and again, just the transformation of Keith's personality and who he is as a person to the core really developed throughout and from meeting the MC, which is how he fell in love with her. So that makes a lot of sense to me, and that worked really well. So if you're the type of person who really enjoys that change in a character, some people can't get past the fact that someone was mean in the beginning. They just think it's fake when they change it in the end. But if you're not someone like that and you like that development and the contrast, then you'll really like this route. You'll also like it if you like the charming, like big brother type and like to see when a guy is super protective and family oriented like that. And finally, if you just like attractive characters, like, come on, look at his face, look at it, Keith is the one for you. Moving on to number 4, we have Joshua Lieben. Prince Joshua is my everything. His route was one of those that was kind of special to me, and not because like it's the best route in the game or anything like that. I just felt personally really connected to his character, and I think it may be because he shares a lot of the same traits that my own husband has. So for me, I felt really attached to him, and I remember having like post-route depression after playing him for so long, and I would just play his sequels and only his mini stories and nobody else. But I got over it, and he is at number 4, so you know there's even better routes out there. But there's just something about him. I think it's because he's a tsundere. He's definitely a tsundere. He's a little bit bitter at first. He's not mean to the point of like Keith, who is like an actual jerk, but Joshua is more just like a strict, hard-working type. And so he comes off a little bit mean, but he definitely melts down over time as he spends time with the MC and falls in love with her. And even if he does continue to say things wrong, it's not like he's trying to be a jerk. It's more like, oh my god, why did I have to say that? I actually love her, but this is just what I do because I'm a tsundere. That's more the feeling that I got from any time Joshua said anything remotely mean. But yeah, and another thing I really liked about his route, and the main controversy of the route, was the rivalry aspect. So his kingdom was in a fight with another kingdom, and that prince comes over, and it's just like sparks fly. These two do not like each other. Even Joshua's butler gets involved, and it just gets crazy. It was a pretty wild ride. So the combination of such a good character with such an intriguing story made me really enjoy Joshua's route. And of course, I also enjoyed his sequel, like his princess training sequel. I've played most of the sequels and princess training sequels. There's 2 sequels. It's kind of weird. It's like season 2, and there's also like a princess training season 2. but they're good for all of them that I have played, but I just remember particularly enjoying Joshua's. So yeah, I think you will like him if you enjoy tsunderes, of course. Like, think You May Eat Up Its History. I think his name was Makoto. Like, think of that type of like sweet tsundere. Love that type of character. Number 2, if you enjoy rivalry, you enjoy kind of like a love triangle type of feel. Not quite, but kind of. Like, that kind of jealous rivalry does go on a bit in this route. And then finally, if you like guys who are diligent and hard workers, Joshua is definitely very diligent. Okay, now we are to the top 3, keep your hats on. And number 3 is Prince Glen. Now, Glen is the prince that is a little bit younger than the other ones. He also kind of has a spicy attitude like Joshua and Keith. Not quite the same though. As I said, Keith is just an actual jerk. Joshua's more of a tsundere kind of mean. And Glen, he has like a chip on his shoulder because he's a younger prince. And you kind of learn that that's where his bitterness comes from and his tendencies to just be a little bit mean sometimes. But he does really soften up, and Glen is seriously like the sweetest sweetie pie. I love him so much. And what's funny is he's one of the later routes that I played because I was just not interested in him. He seems bitter in the prologue. His character design, I would confuse him with Roberto all of the time. I just like wasn't into it. He was younger. I was like, my feet are falling asleep. But yeah, basically I just didn't want to play his route, so that made it even better to me because it was an unexpectedly great route. I just loved it to pieces. I remember really being like shocked, like, whoa, that was a really good route. First of all, the fact that he just becomes so sweet, like, he just melts my heart with how sweet he was towards the end. And his little brother that plays a little bit of a part, and it's kind of funny. I think he even gets jealous when you're like hanging out with his like tiny 2-year-old brother. That's just so cute to me when guys have like that jealous streak. But his little brother is so cute, he's a baby. And then his butler, this is where it gets interesting. This one has a legit like love triangle because his butler does, I don't want to spoil it, but I think you find out pretty soon on that his butler likes you. There's way more to it than that I'm not saying, but it makes for a super interesting route. So if you like really sweet, nice guys, you will like Glen. I know he doesn't seem like it at first, but trust me, he becomes super sweet. And then also, if you like that love triangle aspect, you will definitely like this route. Definitely has that in there, and you can feel the MCU's conflict with that. And then finally, if you like flirtatious guys, you will like Glen because he is very flirty. Roberto is kind of supposed to be the flirty character, I think, but Roberto's more of like a childlike flirt. Glen is like a legit smooth operator type of flirt. So yeah, super good. You guys will enjoy it. Okay, so number 2 and number 1 were extremely hard for me to choose from. They're pretty much equal in my eyes, but I had to do it. So number 2 is Prince Wilfred. Prince Wilfred is the very first route that I played, and he just delivered everything I wanted from this game. It was just everything. You live with him in the castle from chapter 1 pretty much. He has a butler who's like dislikes you and is like, you should do work around here, but Prince Wilfred's like, no, she doesn't have to do anything. And you just slowly fall in love with him from all the little moments that you have when you're living together. I mean, you bump into each other in the middle of the night, you're bringing tea when he's working, and just through every little thing you fall so much in love with him, and you can tell that he loves you too. But the butler's trying to break you apart, his parents aren't with it, he's engaged. He is engaged to someone who's actually what you would stereotypically think as suitable for a prince to marry. So you just feel so discouraged, and you really feel the MC's conflict. Sometimes when I'm reading a game, I'm like, okay, whatever, like, she's upset, I guess. But like, I really felt upset because you're building this relationship with him, and it just like hurts. Every time you see him, it hurts because you fall more in love with him every time you see him, and you know that he's engaged. And you're not the type of person to just get with an engaged person. And he obviously doesn't like who he's engaged to. It's just like the ultimate prince drama with a commoner, and it just does everything for me. It was everything that I wanted out of this app. And he himself has just the most sweet, caring, like, prince persona. You guys will probably love him. I think he's like the picture icon for this app, like Prince Wilfred. So first and foremost, if you downloaded this app, you will like Wilfred because he like embodies and represents what this app is supposed to be. So you will like him if you're looking for that Prince love story. Also, if you like some good old conflict and friction of he's with another woman that he doesn't really love, forced marriage type of thing, you will definitely like his route. And then finally, if you just like the nice guy type, like the sweet, nice guy, like just truly a good person, not mean, not anything, you will love Wilfred, because that is who he is. Okay, number one, as you guys can probably tell, is Prince Edward. Prince Edward is my life. Like, if I could have anybody be real in this game, it would be Prince Edward. But of course, he is like the most unattainable. Like his appearance, nobody looks like this. This is amazing. Nobody looks like that, but he's so handsome, obviously. He is everything a prince should be. He slays my life, and he will slay your life too. But I feel like kind of going back on something I said before, because I said that Zayn would be the most realistic route, and that is true. It's more realistic for you to fall in love with a butler than a prince. But actually, Edward makes the most sense coming from the prologue, because he's the one who gets you the dress, he invites you to the party, he's the one who splashed your stuff, he's the one that would have asked you to dance. It makes the most sense. And I feel like in every route, the MC feels a little bit guilty that she didn't dance with Edward and she dances with a different prince, because he's the one who brought her there. So that makes perfect sense to me. But like Prince Glen, I didn't have a desire to play him at first. I didn't play him until I think he was one of the very last people I played. I may have played his before Glen, I can't remember. But he just seemed like too good to be true. Like, too nice, too princely, too handsome, and so I thought he was just going to be too boring too, because I like Happy Fantasyland, but I do like some plot, and I didn't see where I was going to get any plot from someone who is just perfect. So eventually I did play his route because I love this game and I hadn't played his yet, and I was like, alright, let's do Prince Edward. It seems like the natural fit. And you guys, maybe the first 2 chapters I was like, oh, this is going to be boring, isn't it? But from that point on, it just took off. It shook my life. You guys are probably thinking she gets so serious about this stuff, but I love Otome games. That's why I made my own Otome game. That's why I have a whole channel playing Otome games, which if you don't know about it, I will link it below. That's actually my main channel that I started YouTube with. But because I love Otome games so much and I play them all the time, you get to a point where it's harder for something to really make you go like, whoa, that was amazing. Because the lines can kind of blur and it can just be, everything's like, oh yeah, that's a good route. It was good, I guess. But for you to actually like feel it in your chest, this route made me feel that. It is by far the most romantic route that I have ever played on any Otome game. Like, this was on Titanic's level of romantic without the tragic ending. Like, it is all in on the romance. From like the way he looks, like the way they drew his character expression, he just like looks at you like he's like yearning for your heart. You guys run away together at one point. You're writing love letters to each other. You're sharing books back and forth. I think his butler plays a big role in helping you guys secretly like be in love. You don't go to live with him, so it's kind of like this long distance, like, oh my god, like the prince, like your heart's beating. My heart was beating this whole time. It's hard for me to feel that way about a game. I play these games all the time. Like the first time I played a game I was like, whoa, that was so romantic, but it's hard for me to feel like, whoa, that was so romantic. This made me feel that way, and that's why it is the #1 pick for me, because it is a route that transcends your screen and makes you feel it. Like when he is on his knees begging his parents to accept your guys' relationship, like I was about to cry. Like, it was everything. I really enjoyed Edward's route, as you can tell, and I think everyone should play it if you're a romance fan. Yeah, 100% romance fans, this is for you. Secondly, if you like the princely type, this is your route. This whole game may be of princes, but if they were not princes, Edward would still be a prince in his personality. He is the princely type. He is like the princely archetype of princely archetypes. And then finally, if you love this game, you will love this route, because this is everything. It's begging the parents to let you be together, secretly like love notes, running away together, becoming a princess. It has it all. Be my princess. This is Be My Princess, Edward's route. He is the route of the game. So I really encourage you guys to play it if you're interested in this game, and if you like royalty and elegance and fun romantic stuff like that, you will love, love, love this game. as a whole in all of the routes, because I really did enjoy every single one of the routes, and I replay some of them sometimes even, which is rare for me. So yeah, that's it for this boy rank video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think it's kind of fun when a game has a ton of characters like this one to go through, because I think this would help you guys out the most, because that's when it's the hardest, is when there's so many great characters. So hopefully after this video you know who you want to check out next. And I definitely will be doing more boy rank videos. I'm sorry it's been so long for me to come back with it. If you don't know, I am in school now as well as working, so it's gotten a little tight on the schedule, but that's okay. When I do have time, I'd love to make videos for you guys. And I'm thinking the next one I will do is Class Trip Crush. I said I was going to do that one next, but Be My Princess was just speaking to me. So yeah, that, and then maybe Star-Crossed Smith. Whatever you guys think, leave your comments below. I probably will only do this for Voltage games because that is what I play most often, but you never know. I could definitely do one for Amnesia and some other games from other companies, but for now I'm just going to stick with Voltage games and then add on as I finish those up. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and just having a little chat with me about Otome Boys. I hope this helped you guys who haven't played it yet on who you want to play next. If you have played it already, leave a comment below telling me who's your favorite and why. If you agree or disagree with any of the things I said about the routes. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!